Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leaders What podcast. Today, I have another incredible, inspiring, empowering lady with a phenomenal goosebump-inducing story. Her name is Mariya. We get connected to our good common friend and my publisher, Mary Gooden. She's actually doing not back-to-back books with her. The first one was released just recently, Soul, Love, and September. As always, Mary as the Midas Touch #1 national best-selling book. She's doing another one, but we connected, me and Mariya. We had a chat a few months ago. And then from the get-go, first of all, Mary connected me to her, said, well, you need to talk to this lady. She has an incredible story. I said, okay, sure. And then as soon as we get on the call and I get to talk to her and I get to hear her story, I was like, wow, I was having goosebumps because the story she has is incredible. Just a little bit about her. She's based in DC, in Virginia. And she has a beautiful gift. The gift that she has is that of being able to spark what's inside people, to really get them to open to the full potential, the full purpose. And she used to be an event planner for a few years, and then she had a rare immune disease that prevented her from speaking, from being who she is, and to see and all that. And that really opened her up and allowed her to, as a way to get her true awakening. And now she's sharing her gifts around her and around the world. She's already done that with one book, now a second book on the way. And this morning here from you in Asia, and this evening for her, Friday night, Friday the 13th, that was a date that she wanted it. We had 2 days, one for this week and then next week. And she thought, let's do the Friday the 13th. I said, beautiful. 13 is probably my second favorite number. And and here we are. I'm really delighted because this is going to be a powerful, beautiful episode with an incredible woman that has been blessed with a truly goosebump-inducing story and gift. So anyways, without any further ado, Mariya, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. I'm so happy to finally reconnect because as you said, we connected a few months ago and we shared a beautiful conversation, and we've been trying to reconnect ever since. And I'm honored to be your guest and to share my story with your audience. And it's really a pleasure to be here this evening on this very lucky Friday the 13th.
Pleasure is absolutely all mine. I'm really honored. Thank you for coming on my podcast, and not only to share your story, but open up your heart to really get to know you as a person, as a human being, as a woman, and as a soul. So I'm really looking forward to it. First of all, tell us, we're going to talk about your impact, your business, and all that, and later on. But first, tell us, for people who don't know you, who's Mariya as a person, as a human being, as a woman?
Mariya, first of all, is an ancient soul who's been through many lives with many lessons. And now on this human journey carries all their wisdom, my soul wisdom in this one human now. And I'm able and honored to be able to share it with everybody in this very pivotal moment of our collective human history.
Beautiful. We're going to unpack
because
all of
the world is changing, we are changing, and we are here to usher the changing.
Absolutely. Beautiful. We're going to unpack all of that in a moment. First, I'd like to start with asking you a series of rapid-fire questions to further get to know you. Ready?
I'll try.
Okay. What makes you happy?
Nature.
What
It's really inspiring for me. Everything, all the little things. The
Absolutely.
sunset, the flowers, everything.
Mm-hmm. What makes you smile?
My son,
How old is he?
11, just turned 11.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, let's take the happiness factor a couple of notches higher. What makes your soul set on fire? What makes your heart sing?
My heart sings when I'm able to help others, to
Mm,
spark the spark in others.
love.
It's nothing more fulfilling than to see the fire reigniting in
Mm,
somebody, the spark in their eyes, the fire
mm,
making them continue and grow and expand.
absolutely. I agree. I'm the same with you. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
Sad, injustice.
Mm,
It's like when things are done to people that don't deserve it.
mm. What scares you?
Hmm, very little scares me,
Beautiful.
but honestly, at this point, nothing scares me.
Not even spiders?
It's not even spiders. I
Okay.
used to be super scared of the dark until a year ago. I would say like dark scared me. But then when I had my awakening and my initiation was like the first initiation was going into a dark woods
Mm,
and knowing that I'm still cared for and
mm,
protected. And ever since, it's really, I don't think that I'm scared of anything right now.
beautiful.
It's like, you know,
Beautiful. What was about darkness that scared you?
it was the unknown.
Mm,
Because before my awakening, I was still living in fear.
mm,
I was still grasping to be in control.
mm. Okay.
Not our biggest fear, not knowing what is next. But when you lose that fear, when you walk with the biggest trust in the process, the knowing that if you leap, the world will rearrange in front of you
Mm,
and the stepping stone will appear.
I agree. Wow. What would you say is your number one personal superpower?
To see people
Mm,
and to make feel everybody seen and loved.
beautiful. Beautiful. Now let's move forward. You like traveling, right?
I do, although for many, many years I was grounded here due to my autoimmune disease because I had my procedures every week.
Mm, mm,
So I wasn't able to travel as much. But now, with really my body healing and pretty much looking into not doing those procedures anymore, not needing them,
mm.
for a first time in so many years, I'm really unbound and free and able to say, okay, where do you want to go next?
Where is the first place you want to go to?
Where do you want to be?
Where is the first place you want to go to?
Glastonbury is being calling me as the next place to go as a soul.
Where?
It's now that we entered the solar book and being that I carry the content of unconditional love, it's like something that my female self
Mm.
need to do to enter those calls because Glastonbury is the heart chakra
Oh, okay.
of Mother Earth.
Beautiful.
So this is where the love and everything begins and expands.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Unusual place, man. You know, when you're on a soul mission, you follow your intuition and you listen to where your soul takes you.
Absolutely. Life is a journey, and this life is part of the bigger journey of our soul through time, universe, and millennia. Absolutely. And dimensions and all that. Now, let me take you down a different type of traveling down memory line. Go back to when you were growing up. You know, when we were kids, people around us, family, friends, relatives, teachers, neighbors, always ask us, "Hey, Maria, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What was your answer to that question as a little girl?
I've always been an artistic soul.
Mm,
So when I was growing up, it's always some kind of artist. Meaning, first I wanted to be a fashion designer.
mm,
So I used to do my own clothes.
wow.
Then I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to go study architecture in Paris. This didn't happen. But I ended up in the US. I work in interior design. So it's always some kind of art. Then it was the event planning. And then today, I can say that I'm an architect
Mm,
of sacred portals for souls.
wow.
Because through my work, I create sacred drawings
Mm,
that encompass the soul's journey, and it's incarnate in those drawings, the future expansion of the soul. So I guess I am living my dream to become an architect, just not the kind of architect I imagine I would be.
mm, beautiful.
I don't create actual roads and buildings.
Mm,
I open path- pathways and highways
mm,
for souls to walk into paths they never saw for themselves.
wow. Beautiful. We'll talk about that in a moment later on. Let's stay to when you were growing up as a kid. What was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
I liked it. I was pretty good at school, perfect grades, great example, always good relationship with teachers, with peers. I was in the time singing in the chorus, always presenting on stage, never been afraid to speak, to represent others. So I guess school was a good period for me.
Okay. What was your favorite subject in school?
Art,
Yeah, of course. Uh-huh. And what was your least favorite subject?
hmm, it's probably if I have to pinpoint one,
Hmm.
because through my school years, I learned a lot of languages,
Mm.
which now I understand is to kind of develop my mind in thinking in different directions. But my least favorite was when I was learning French,
Why?
and French is my first foreign language.
Mm.
I then learned Russian, German, and English was in the end when I came here. But with French, it was particularly the what is the word in English? Um, dictations? Is that the
Yes,
word?
yes, 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 yes. What's
Because French is such a difficult,
orthograph?
um,
It's called in French orthograph.
yeah, it was such a different line to hear
Mm-hmm.
and transfer the words correctly
Mm-hmm.
because the pronunciation is so different
Yes. It's not
than
an
what
easy
you
language.
write.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle, but again, it was a wonderful opportunity to
Mm.
expand and learn and kind of build new neural paths.
Mm. Makes sense. Yeah. Now,
You're asking very hard questions.
we're gonna ask you some more easier now. Okay. Uh, Imagine that we were in the same class in grade 10 or 11. What kind of student, what kind of girl were you? Were you like the shy one, the nerdy one, the quiet one, the chatterbox, the life of the party? What kind of girl, what kind of student were you and around that time?
I was a strange bird. I was the one that knew when it's time to work, it's
Mm,
time to work, and you study in perfect grade, but on the other side, knew that when it's time to play, it needs to be a balance.
mm,
So it was the nerdy and the life of the party. If you can imagine such mix, here I am. And even now, I'm still the same. When it's work, I
sure.
can be serious. I can be in my more in my masculine
Mm-hmm.
do so. And then when it's time for relax and be and recharge, I'm in my more in my feminine
Mm,
with him allowing, and it's always a balance. It's always a flow one into the other. One cannot go without the other.
mm. I see. Makes sense. Now, when you were in school and high school and beyond, were you popular with the boys?
I was, but I was not interested in boys at that point. it was always like books and stuff that were more on my mind.
What was your very first job? And do you remember how much you get paid the first time you worked, even if it was for a small job?
So my first job was right after my first year in university.
Mm,
And I graduated university with a bachelor degree in hospitality management.
mm,
So my first job was working as an assistant manager in a hotel. I don't remember how much.
mm,
Gosh, it was how old I am now, 40, so that's 20 years ago. But I remember that with the first day, I bought myself my first phone.
nice.
So it was quite the accomplishment.
Sure.
And again, it's a different culture.
Where was
For
that?
when I'm comparing, I'm originally from Bulgaria,
Ah, Bulgaria.
Eastern
Okay.
Europe. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like here in the USA, 15, you start working.
Sure, sure,
It's
sure.
different culture, different understanding of the role of what a girl should be doing, how should be doing it.
What part of Bulgaria are you from?
Varna?
Wow, okay. I had one lady from Bulgaria on my podcast a year and a half ago.
Oh, nice.
She's in Vancouver, Canada. She's also one of my alumni from my podcasting academy. If you want, I
Mm-hmm.
can connect you to her after this call.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, that
her
would be
name
nice.
is what Diliana. Diliana, that's her name, and she's doing really good work. I will connect you after this call to her. Awesome,
Beautiful, yes.
awesome.
Yes, Varna is a beautiful city. It's the second or third largest. I don't know right now. It was
Mm,
the second largest when I was there, and it's the seaport
mm,
of Bulgaria, so it's beautiful. With resorts
mm,
close by Golden Sand. In Bulgaria in general, it's a small country, but very exquisite nature.
sure.
We have the sea, we have the mountains, everything in between.
I heard about that. It's very high on my list. And
Mhm.
what made you leave Bulgaria to come to the US?
Well, I was lucky enough to win a green card
Ah, okay.
in the lottery. So here I am, and so that was 2005. So 23, I won a green card. I was already been coming here because I first came on a student exchange program. I was working on the boardwalk in New Jersey, and then 3 years later, won the green card. I was like, okay, what do I do now? It's a lifetime opportunity.
Mm,
There might be a reason why from all the million people that applied, my humble self was selected. So at the very least, I wasn't married at the time. I actually got married right away. So my boyfriend, husband then could come. And but um like no children yet or anything. So it was okay. The very least I can give my future children the opportunity to be American citizens and choose. My son now is been telling me, oh, maybe I want to go back to Bulgaria. It's your choice. You're an European Union citizen and American citizen. You're free to go wherever you want.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. What was the most challenging thing for you when you moved to the US?
The language,
Really? Okay.
here was this smart woman speaking at the time perfectly fluently French, working as a manager in a hotel, working with French businessmen,
Mm,
translating for the French ambassador coming to the area, and then speaking on top of this Russian and German, but not knowing English that well.
tough. Yes.
So I had to face, as a foreigner, the misjudgment that, oh, you don't speak the language, you are just
I know.
less than. So I came here and my first job was housekeeping,
Mm.
cleaning toilets and cleaning rooms and
You know,
just experiencing this.
I can relate to the language barrier because I actually grew up in France. So
And,
when we moved to Canada, I didn't speak English. So it was hard for me to learn it. I was 14 in high school and depressed, going from the south of France where it's warm all year long to Canada. In the first week of September, it's cold and snowy. I was depressed for the first 6 months, seriously, because I had left everything behind. And especially when you're a teenager, uh, so I can totally relate with that. It wasn't easy, but in the long term, it was probably the best decision to make because Canada offered me, just like for you, the US offered me the opportunity to build a life that I want. I'm not sure I would have been able to do that in France because Europe, the economy back then, now even more, it's not the best, So
it was really hard because all my family, everybody, my brother, my parents, everybody is back home. I don't have any family here.
yes, same here. Yeah.
It wasn't an easy decision, but again, life presents opportunities every day. We wake up with a chance and a choice. And when I have a different life, if I didn't come here, maybe I would not meet all the people that I met. I will not influence all the lives that I did just by being here. I'll never meet you. I'll never talk to you. None of your listeners will be hearing from me because I will not be speaking English probably.
Exactly. Everything happens for a reason. You are where you're
So
meant to be.
yeah, it's all we can do is just follow the inner guidance
Mm,
and follow the road and see where it takes us.
indeed.
Yes, everything is either a lesson or a blessing.
Absolutely. 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 even the lesson is a blessing because you become wiser. You know what, in life, in business, it's important to know what to do, but it's even more important to know what not to do, because that's where, yeah, absolutely. Now, moving forward, from the time you left school, from the time you left Bulgaria to now, how would you describe your path? Would you say it was pretty much straightforward? Once you get into one lane, it was smooth sailing and you were set for life? Or was it more like turns and twists, like a roller coaster with ups and downs?
That's a tough question because in my wildest imagination, dreams, or plans, I'm not think that I will be here
Mm,
today where I am. I had a very different life. I had a very different vision.
mm,
I like I said, I married the man I was dating at the time we moved here. I was married for 15 years. 7 of those years, yeah, five of those years in the end was living through the rare disease that I was blessed with, which affected the marriage and everything, a lot of lessons. So 15 years later, I found myself divorced, something I never told or planned. Or in my culture, it's like, you think stuff, you don't explain ways, man.
mm.
So, no, it was not. And from there, it was rediscovering, okay, who I am now. If I'm not a wife, who am I now? I've been a wife for 15 years. Now it's me. I've been a mom for 5 of those years. Now half of the time I'm on my own. My son is not with me. So what do I do with that time? What do I do? Who I am if I'm not a mom? If I'm not a wife? So it was the unfolding, the unlearning. It was the remembering of who I was as a
Abs-
human, as a person, as a woman, and then going even deeper
mm.
once the real awakening started with the funneling awakening and everything, remembering who I was as a soul.
That's beautiful. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I definitely want to talk about your disease, immune disease, and how it affected your life. But before we talk about that, I want to ask you about perfect segue. You mentioned how you had to reinvent yourself. Remember, we are recreate your identity in your mind. So there's a saying that says, change your story, change your life. And by story, I mean what we tell ourselves in our head. So when you, Mariya, you were at some of your lowest, darkest, most challenging times of your life, and that process, going to divorce, reinventing yourself, questioning who you are, how did you change the story inside your head to change your reality outside?
No, I'm not a victim.
Mm,
I'm
wow.
not, I'm not, I'm not a victim. Whatever is happening, it's happening for me, to
Mm,
teach me,
mm,
to show me, to give me a lesson. It's not happening to me.
mm.
I'm not powerless. I might not have a lot of power, but I am in power of how I react. I don't have the power over the cards that were drawn to me, but I'm absolutely empowered what they wanted to do with this. I can be like, why is this happening to me? Why it's this disease? Why it's divorce and everything? And I have a funny story with that. With my divorce and how I viewed my hardwood floor. Because the first thing I did when my son's dad left, I decided that I will build myself a brand new hardwood floors. I did not ask anybody to help me. I was like, I need to get some sense of control. So I had the tools, a friend gave me the tools, and I nailed one by one
Whoa.
400 square feet of hardwood floor.
Wow. That's not
It's
easy.
like it was not, but I'm not person that told me. I went to Home Depot and they were like, you cannot do this. Like, you need to hire someone. I was like, watch me.
They told you can't do that at the store?
Well, men have different ideas of what women can and
Sure.
not do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this to say women should do it by themselves. But in this very moment, this is what I needed to know to get my power back. And I was determined to do it on my own. And I did it. And with every word, the ground under me was shaking less and less. And it was like, okay, the world is not ending. Only the world as you know it
Mm,
is ending. Something new is coming.
absolutely. Just want to say one thing that I totally agree with you is that, I also had my awakening of the past 3 years. And before, when something bad happened to me, I asked the wrong question, which is why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why? Why life is so unfair? Where is God? And, complain and complaining is not going to get you anything and play the victim in my head. Instead, I learned the tremendous power of questions and asking the right question, because questions can be completely life-changing. Now I ask, what is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn to that? And that to anything, through heartbreak, through challenges, dark times, even through tragedy. Ask yourself, what is a lesson for me to learn to this? What is this trying to teach me? And once I realized and understood and embraced that, my life completely changed. Now I look at things from a different perspective, and that's one of the most powerful realization that we can come into it, because once we do that, we really understand that this life, we understand what this life is all about. It's not, we're much bigger than this ego, this personality, this physical body, this container. Just like at night when we sleep, You retire in the morning, you wake up with a brand new day. Same thing here. Once this role is over, the curtain falls. You high five each other behind, and the backstage. Oh, you did well. You did well. You should have done this. You should have done. Oh, next time you do this. Next time I'll do the other role and all that. It's a play, and then you get another chance, another chance. I had actually a hypnotherapist on my podcast around December of 2021. She did a past life reading on me live. And that's my favorite episode so far because I learned so much about myself. I was like, wow, the kind of conversation we were supposed to talk for 20 minutes, we talked for 2 hours. The kind of
Yes.
conversation you don't want to stop. So, anyways, absolutely beautiful. Love that. Thank you for reminding us of that. Now, tell us about something that has been absolutely crucial in your life, and that is your deceased. Tell us about that. How did it happen, and what is it exactly? Is it was it an was it an accident or something genetic or just out of the blue?
Not out of the blue. Absolutely, I've always been a very healthy person. I mean, before that, I would rarely go to the doctors. I would rarely have like a runny nose or something, like a cold. And then it was, so my son was a year and a half at the time. And I I had a cold. So I had a cold like in the past week. But I don't remember. It was kind of, I was still breastfeeding, so I didn't took any strong medications or something. So I guess my body didn't have the capability to fully combat with whatever was happening. And I still don't know why, but this was something that was happening. And then I woke up one morning and I went to brush my teeth and I could not hold my hand up to brush my teeth. It was like, what is happening? It was like I had to physically
Wow.
support my hand. And, I was, at the time, I was lucky enough to be able to be the caretaker for my son, staying at home. His dad was the one working. And I'm like, I cannot worry about myself right now. Like, it will go away somehow, hopefully. But it was not going away. And, after a while, you're like, okay, maybe I should go to the doctors and check what's going on. And it was like doctor after doctor after doctor, and everything is fine.
Wow.
There is nothing wrong. Your spine is fine. There is no fractures, nothing. Your vocal cords are fine. Your eyes are fine. Yet there will be for 2 months. I was constantly seeing everything double. Like I would see two view means everything.
Was it from both eyes or one eye?
So what happens? The disease is called myasthenia gravis, and the form that I had in the time was called anti-MuSK. So it's a neuromuscular disease. And with me, it only affected the cranial nerves. So everything from the
Shoulder.
shoulders up.
Wow.
So my neck, my smile, I would lose my facial expression. I'm still not 100% because it's been so many years now that I can completely smile.
Mm.
And some people are always like, why you're not smiling? I mean, I cannot produce the perfect smile that
Mm.
some people are expecting.
Mm.
With the eyes, because, you know, if you close one eye, you see one image. If you close the other, you see a different image.
Mm.
So when our eyes are aligned, the two images kind of view to each other
Yeah.
and give us the 3D form. When the muscles are tired, the two pictures don't align.
Mm.
So you kind of see the two images, but they're not on top of each other.
Mm.
They are separated. So depending on which way your eyes go, you either the first time that happened to me, I was driving,
You were
and all of a
driving.
sudden,
Wow. That's
I,
dangerous.
I was, I mean, I was driving on a one-lane road, and all of a sudden, that one was two-lane, where they're next to me, and all of a sudden, like the car from the opposite lane, I could see it coming towards me.
Wow.
So this is how separate. On another occasion, when they go the opposite way, I was walking through a hallway and like my eyes kind of went the other way. So the two walls, I was not getting a feedback from the middle. I was kind of seeing one wall and the other wall, and the two walls smashed in front of me.
Mm.
The hallway disappeared.
Wow.
So I was kind of close my eyes, okay, then I feel the walls, okay, walking. So it's been interesting.
So you're walking with just one eye just to make sure you don't get distracted?
I mean, in the beginning, yes, but
Wow.
then the human brain is a very interesting
Sure.
and powerful thing. Um, Once you live through something like this for extended periods of time, you kind of learn to see more one on the picture
Mm-hmm.
because I cannot walk with one
Sure.
eye closed. I still see everything, but it doesn't bother me as much. And it's funny because in the time I had my son, like he was running, he was playing, I had to constantly watch him.
Sure.
So it was kind of watching two kids at the time. But you're learning,
Mm.
you're growing.
So are there any cures for that or
So in that time, I was told that there is no cure. For the first 3 years, they could not figure out what was going on.
Mm.
After 3 years, funny enough, I had an ear infection and they gave me the wrong antibiotic,
Wow.
meaning with myasthenia gravis, a lot of simple medications interrupt. So all of a sudden, I was in the emergency room with 130, what is called the heartbeat. It caused my what is called the thyroid
Mm-hmm.
to explode all the hormones. So I was having adrenaline pump into my system. So my heart was running so fast, they were afraid I will have a heart attack or a stroke, whatever.
Wow.
A lot of interesting experiences. It's like facing your mortality
Yeah.
and then going back. And then after this, they were like, oh, okay, now we see what is happening. You have that myasthenia gravis. So there is a treatment for that. There is no cure, but we can remove the antibodies. You will come, we will drain your blood
Wow.
once a week.
Drain the blood.
Yes,
And you're from the shoulder up or your entire body?
entire body.
Wow. How long would that take?
Like, it takes an hour. So I had, in order to facilitate the process, at the time they were using a different devices, but I was actually one that kind of asked for a different kind of how to explain it. So usually if you have your blood drained so often, you have central vein. It's like the thing that is hanging. I said, I cannot live like this. And I did research into what they're using for cancer patients. And I spoke with a doctor. I found that there is a possibility to have the cords implanted like under the skin.
Wow.
So I had 2 cords implanted under my skin, like nothing that is hanging. And then this facility, I just go, they plug in the needles, and unlike those fancy cars, Teslas that need to get charged or useful. Because again, all this now it's in the past. Because once I started my healing journey and with the help of a beautiful soul that did my alignments and helped me on my journey, Bernadette Gold, she is amazing. I am now in the process of figuring out how to remove the cords and be done with everything.
Wow. So you had to reinvent yourself twice, once after the divorce, and actually three times. Once you left Bulgaria to the US, then after the
Yeah,
divorce, and then after your decease. Wow.
yes,
So of course, the disease as completely changed your life. Now you're limited your movements and what you can do. And what the question I want to ask is, what kept you going despite in those darkest of times after the disease, after the divorce, to keep going and not give up? What was the force, the why that kept you going? Was it God? Was it your son? What was it?
it was the little soul that I was in charge of.
Mm,
It was my son. It was really, and I did, with
mm,
his permission, I did put that in the book, in Soul Love book, because I'm mentioning him,
mhm.
and I wanted to honor him and ask him
Absolutely.
for permission to share that, but it was really his tiny soul that kept me going.
Mm,
Like I was living for him. I was like shell of a human. Like literally my soul left my body. I was like just on autopilot. But it was for him that I had to keep going and
mm,
reinvent myself, reignite my spark so I can keep his spark on. Because he is such a beautiful soul. He is very like very, very much like me. He is very empathetic, always caring for others. And it was kind of my soul goal to not allow his life to be dim. Because no matter what I was going through, I didn't want not protect him.
wow.
Just again, we don't have no choice, but we have no choice on how to react. I choose not to make his path harder.
Mm,
I choose to do everything in my power so I can help his soul and not put, you know how when you get to your awakening and you start healing the generational trauma?
mm-hmm.
Well, I tried my best not to create
Mm,
more trauma
sure.
coming from.
You know, going through that is incredibly challenging for you, but it's always a blessing, a lesson, a gift. What would you say is the gift and you going through this very rare immune disease? What is the purpose of that? The highest, if you look at things from a spiritual perspective, what is the blessing in that? What is the lesson or the purpose?
I mean, even with what I share,
Sure.
and I don't share that often because I don't want to get credit for things, but by me being brave enough to look for other options,
Mm,
to what kind of device to have,
mm-hmm.
I opened the path for so many after me that had a much better life
Mm,
using those devices,
mm,
quality of life,
mm,
than when they had before. And in general, like the biggest lesson for me, losing everything
mm,
was learning to appreciate the little things that I can speak to you right now, that I can drink
mm.
water without choking, because that was the one thing I could not drink water. I had to consciously think through sipping water. I can enjoy food. I don't choke on food.
Things we take for granted. Yes. Mm,
I can see you. You know the saying, so good to see you?
thank you. Yes.
Well, I have a whole different layer on it's so good to see you because I can see you.
Appreciation for what we take for granted. The simple things.
Everything,
Yes.
everything, the tiniest. Being able to dance, to move. Because I wasn't able to move my head. So I wasn't able to dance. I wasn't able to move my hands past my shoulders. And now, if you look through my reels and posts, I'm waving a heavy metal sword because why not?
Wow.
Because now I can do things that I was not able to do. So in losing everything, I learned appreciation for everything, the tiniest little thing.
Indeed, there's a saying that says our health is our greatest wealth, our greatest asset, because that's the most important thing with time. Once you lose one of those two, then nothing else matters. We need
Yes.
to take care of ourselves. Absolutely. Yes. Wow, what a
And
story. Powerful.
and this is the hardest when you lose your health, not to give up and
Mm,
keep going and waking every up every morning, hoping that today I will be normal again
mm,
and normal. And when that doesn't happen, to keep going. Because you know how many times people are waking up, oh my, I don't know, coffee doesn't taste good enough or something.
mm,
People are complaining for things that don't matter.
mm.
So it's like I'm waking up and I'm grateful that I'm still here, that I have another day, another opportunity to touch lives. Because once you learn, the biggest lesson I learned from this is that we all have an expiration date.
Sure. The container, the body has, not the soul.
Yes, we are infinite souls, but this body, this role
It's container, yes.
has an expiration date.
Sure.
And once we remember that, now we can really start enjoying and living the journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how are you leveraging that beautiful gift that you've been blessed with, that beautiful realization, to inspire others around you and around the world?
Just being myself, sharing my story with everyone in every moment,
Yes.
living from the lessons. Sometimes it's not even sharing. It's you being, me being, living, enjoying, dancing, and still contributing
Mm,
to people around me. Because when you are in your flow, what makes you moving and what really sparks your soul, people around you can feel it. Even if you don't speak it,
sure.
you can feel your energy. You enter a space and you unleash the whole room
Mm-hmm.
just because you are in that space.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Totally. Tell us now about your business.
Many different aspects, new emerging as we are growing, expanding. So over the past year and a half is the coaching. I've been coaching mainly leaders that are dedicating to self-growth, to conscious expansion beyond the ego self. Leaders that are out of the victim mentality and who are ready to really step in service of others
Mm,
and really step into their purpose, their impact. Because that might be a conversation one-on-one with just one soul, but those people, when they're in their heart space, they walk into their community, and I know that my message is spreading.
mm,
So those are the ones that I mainly been attracting, and that I really love working with because of the ripple effect. I might be helping one, but I'm actually helping many. And
absolutely.
then in many others ways, through my art, I'm still an artist. I still create custom art. I am an author now, expanding my stage. I will be expanding from podcast, learning from you, something that is coming. And what I'm seeing us ahead of me almost doesn't have words yet because it's beyond what we have for human words.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Share with us an example of the most remarkable transformation you've seen from one of your clients so far?
There's so many, and on so many levels. Like they come to me thinking they're coming for one thing, but in the end, they find out that they didn't even knew who they were.
Mm,
It's like finding another true self that you never imagined. Having remembering of why you came here. What is your purpose?
that is,
What is your mission? Because all of this, it's uncoded for every one of our souls.
mhm.
And you can access it through the Akashic records, through the soul memory. So it's really one after the other.
How do you help these people?
Memory.
How do you help these people remember the sole purpose?
Once they feel the layers of who they are not and connect with their hearts, it's all inside of us. Many think that it's something success is something outside. Many come to me being absolutely successful in material world, but not still not being fulfilled. But once you go inside and you connect with your higher self, you can receive all the wisdom because your soul knows why you're here. I'm not here to tell you why you're here. You already know it. I'm just here to help you go back, connect, and remember.
Beautiful.
And that's why the light language is so helpful with what I do, because it speaks directly to your soul. It bypasses
Mm.
the human ego.
Is that someone that anyone can do, or the person has to be spiritually awakened? Sorry, is so what I'm saying is, can people that are already awakened have access to that, or is it anyone can do it as long as they're open-minded and ready for that?
The light language, I
Yes.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, everybody can receive it,
Mm.
because the light language is, it's kind of not, it's a universal language in a way. It's the language of the soul, the language that we all spoke as souls before we were divided
Mm.
into fractals. It's almost come to one image that my guide showed me when they were
Mm.
explaining to me was, you know, the story of Babylon,
Of who?
Babylon,
No,
the tower of B as a boy, Babylon.
no, I haven't heard that.
It's like when we all spoke one language, but then we were trying to climb to the sky, and then God said you all gonna speak different language.
Oh, Tower of Babylon. Okay, yes, yes, yes.
Only.
Yes, 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 of course. Yeah, okay.
So in a way, it's the language that we all spoke before we got divided, not being able to communicate.
Mm.
This is how they showed me. But the ability to translate and transmute it is the openness to allow it. Because I might say, oh no, I'm not doing it. I mean, this is strange.
Mm.
This is like what all people think of me. And a lot of people, even if they're able to do it, they don't allow themselves to do it because of fear.
Mhm. Wow.
So everybody has a way to tap into it and has a different expression. Sometimes it's in your voice, it's the vibrance of your voice. Sometimes it's the dance, the movement. It's in the paintings. It's the language of our own soul that
Indeed.
can transmit it.
Indeed.
So with you, it's your voice. That's why you are asked to speak.
Indeed. Beautiful. How are you getting your clients?
In the beginning, it was like everybody else, more masculine approach. Do a lot of calls, hard, cold calls, which it worked, but not as well because I was not being in my energetic self. But I got enough clients like this to start working, and then from there, it was a lot of what is called word to mouth. Is that the expression?
Word of mouth.
Yeah. So one transformation is like, oh, you know, this is my coach. You should talk to her. And a lot of the clients that I got, a lot of the winners came from word of mouth. And
Beautiful.
now it's really being more organic, my authentic self, being me, not hiding myself.
That's key.
being authentic as I am, language and all, and whoever speaks and resonates and hear me comes to me.
Indeed, indeed. Wow, beautiful. You know, we can talk for hours. You have an incredible, incredible, inspiring, empowering, and goosebump inducing.
I don't even know, wow, that was a long time.
Yes, and so let's
It's
start.
so short.
Let's start wrapping things up. We will probably do a part 2 in the next few weeks. But to finish, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions on advices. Ready?
Hey,
What's the best piece of advice you've received in your life so far?
to be myself,
Love that. What's the worst piece of advice you've received so far?
to hold grudge.
Oh, huge. Yes. Imagine that you were blessed with a time machine and you can go back in time and sit with an 18-year-old Mariya. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to her knowing all that you know now?
Believe in yourself
Mm,
and dream big. Believe it and you'll see it.
absolutely. I know you don't have your podcast yet. You will get it soon. But imagine that you had a podcast today, and today you're interviewing the
I lost you.
All right. So I know you don't have a podcast yet, but you will have a podcast soon. So imagine that you have a podcast and today you're interviewing the most special person in the world, and that is yourself. What's the first
Hmm.
question that comes to mind that you want to ask yourself?
Hmm. That's a very interesting question.
Don't think too much. The first question that comes to your mind.
How big do you want to grow?
And what's your answer?
As big as my soul allows me to.
Immense, endless, absolutely eternal. Yes, beautiful. The last question I will ask you, and that's my favorite question to ask all of my guests, and that is, what is the smallest thing you've done in your life that has had the greatest, deepest, most profound positive effect on both your life and business? By small, I don't mean something small. I mean the one thing. For example, for me, it's been starting my podcast. What about you, Mariya?
Smile at people.
Mm, yes, yes, yes. Love that. What's the best way to connect with you if someone wants to reach out to you?
You can have my link tree. It has all the links for socials. And then the best way to find out if we're a good match to work together is get a complimentary breakthrough call.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that actions speak louder than words
Absolutely.
in writing. So the best way to experience my multidimensional coaching is through a conversation.
Totally. Absolutely. I will put your all your links in the show notes so you can send that to me after. Absolutely. What's your website? Just so people can hear it.
I don't have a website.
Okay, no problem. I'll put your link tree after. Listen, Mariya, absolute honor, pleasure. blast having you on the podcast, sharing your story, opening up your heart to really get to know you, your incredible story. I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world with your presence, your impact, with your gifts. You are a gift yourself. Stay safe, stay awesome. God bless you. And have a fantabulous evening. And we can definitely gonna talk soon again. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.
You too, sir.
Bye-bye.